Well, hello everyone and welcome to Recovering with EnergieGal. My name is Lisa. I am an holistic wellness practitioner as well as a certified eating psychology coach, working specifically with people who have addictions and anxiety. Today, we're going to be offering some very practical advice to those of us who find ourselves caught in a loop of worry and even anxiety or a panic attack. But first, I want to read to you real quick from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. He wrote this quite a few years ago, and I've read it through quite a few times because it's delicious. And he writes miracle thinking. He says a quote from Albert Einstein that I'll share here. There are two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. He goes on to write this: there is no end to worry because there is no end to what exists out of view beyond our very small eyes. So worry is a way to gamble with what might or might not happen. He says, it reminds me of a friend I had one time who had a flat tire out on a country road. After finding he had no jack, he began walking, hoping to find a nearby farmer who would help him. It was getting dark and the crickets were getting louder. As he walked the overgrown road, he began to throw the dice of worry in his mind. What if the farmer's not home? What if he is and won't let me use his jack? What if he won't let me use his phone? What if he's frightened of me? Well, I never did anything to him. Why won't he just let me use his phone? Well, by the time he knocked on the farmer's door, my friend was so preoccupied with what could go wrong that when the friendly old man answered, my friend bellowed, "Well, you can keep your goddamn jack." Being human, we struggle constantly to stay with the miracle of what is and not to fall constantly into the black hole of what is not. This is an ancient challenge. As the Sufi poet Ghalib said centuries ago, every particle of creation sings its own song of what is and what is not. Hearing what is can make you wise. Hearing what is not can drive you mad. Miracle. But we can get caught in what is not. We can get caught in what is wrong with the situation and be so focused on what is wrong that we allow what is so beautiful and miraculous about the situation to not catch our heart's attention. You know, I have 5 children, and my first 3 were diagnosed autistic spectrum. And there was an opportunity for me to get so lost, so caught up in the worry, so overwhelmed with what was wrong, how they couldn't talk, how they couldn't wear clothes. I could have gotten so lost in that I became overwhelmed, and I missed out on the miracle of the beautiful days and situations that we did have. It really is just so easy to have our focus be on what is not, what didn't happen, and what should have happened. And it's a very difficult place to find ourselves in. So, because sometimes it ends up being a habit and we find ourselves in this rut of thinking, even though we're trying not to, we find ourselves back in this rut of thinking, okay? Here's some practical things that you can do. I call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? As soon as you find yourself being like, oh my God, and what about this? And oh my God, we just bought a car, but then the washer went. How are we ever going to come up with this money? Oh my gosh, my kid is driving now. What if happens an accident? What am I going to do? My mom is getting on in age, and what if she falls and I have to do this? All these what ifs and the worries that we have, the ways that we're trying to control rather than just be here now. Here's what you do. Take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, and think of 5 of the most beautiful things you have ever laid your eyes on. And speak it out loud if it's at all possible. You could say, I am allowing myself to be experiencing my anxiety, but at the same time, I want to remind myself of this most beautiful sight. I remember the one time I walked into my exercise studio and Stephen, my husband, had hung all of these, thousands, guys, of paper hearts from the ceiling. It must have taken him hours. It was one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen. I remember when my daughter was born, and I looked and I saw that after 4 sons, I had a daughter. It was the most beautiful sight I'd ever seen. I remember when my son was away for 9 months. I didn't hear from him. I didn't see him. He was in a very difficult place. And then he came pulling in the driveway. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. So take a deep breath and think of 5 of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. Take another deep breath. And think of 4 of the most amazing, miraculous things that you have ever touched. I remember touching my babies for the first time, each and every one of them, and just thinking, my God, I've never touched anything so beautiful in my life. I remember when I saw my Gia Furbutt, my little baby girl dog, in a picture. And when I actually held her for the first time and I rubbed my face up against her fur, and I still do that, the most beautiful things I've ever touched. Take a deep breath and think of 3 of the most miraculous, amazing things you've ever smelled. It sounds kind of small, but I love the smell of popcorn. I love the smell of popcorn. I love the smell of flowers. I love the smell of this kind of perfume that my daughter-in-law made for me. Oh my God, it smells so good. And every time I roll it on, I just feel happy. Take a deep breath. And think of 2 of the most miraculous, amazing, mind-boggling things you have ever heard in your life. I remember when each of my autistic spectrum kids began to talk, well, actually, any of my children began to talk, and when they all began to acknowledge me as Mama. Is there anything more miraculous than your kids saying Mom? But each of my children saying Mommy. To this day, they can text it, and I'm still like, oh, better. My children saying Mom to me. My husband calling me from the other room, hey, babe. My baby sister calling me up. Let's go on a vacation together. The sound of their voices. Oh, here is one of the most miraculous things. We were at the Chautauqua Institution, and they were having their June celebration where they got all of the best music players from the orchestras and the bands and the choirs from all around Chautauqua County, Erie County, the whole area. Hundreds of kids up there with their instruments and their voices. And we were in the stand in the, I don't know if it was the Athenaeum, probably not, but it was in the real big round thing that they had there at the Institute. And to hear the song that they all sang together at the end, chills through your body. There wasn't a dry eye. It was Handel's Messiah that they were singing. It was one of the most miraculous, beautiful, overwhelming things that I have ever heard in my life. Heaven on earth. And lastly, take a deep breath. And say out loud to yourself, what is the most amazing, miraculous, yummy taste that I've ever experienced? What is something that is like, Well, it's got to be my homemade pasta sauce. Makes me think of my mom, Jules. So, so say out loud, oh man, past is off. And I'm going to tell you what this does is it pulls you from this that's stuck. It's stuck in a loop. And it pulls you down into your physical body using all your five senses, reminding yourself of your five senses and getting down into your body. Breath, connecting the mind body, and then using your mouth to speak out loud, using the five senses, those things. And it helps kind of break that for just that moment. I hope that this has been helpful. So many of us struggle in this space of anxiety and worry. It is a somewhat challenging world and vibration that we live in, and the energies are shifting, and that can be a little disconcerting. We want to know, where can our feet, stand on solid ground? I understand that. And a lot of times our addictions are symptoms of dissociation, symptoms of trying to numb out because life is just overwhelming. And so you're not alone. My name is Lisa. I am an holistic wellness practitioner as well as eating psychology coach, certified to help people with body dysmorphia and variety of types of addiction and anxiety. And if I can be of service, please contact me through one of the links below. In the meantime, if you like the content, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, but also like and comment, and please feel free to share the video if you think that it would be of service and help to anybody. Take a deep breath here. Slow down. I allow myself to slow down. I allow myself to slow down. I give myself permission to slow down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you try it, let me know how it works. All right, my best to you always, and I will talk to you again really soon. Take care, everybody.